get into a nighttime routine. I feel I've noticed a lot too with different patients that if they started a routine and started preparing for sleep, they were able to go to sleep faster and stay asleep and sleep longer.
Hi, I'm Maria, otherwise known as the Fit Foodie. I'm a chef, holistic nutritionist, author, inventor, and mom. And I want to welcome you to my podcast. It's called Recipes for Your Best Life. And with every episode, I'm peeling back the onion on fitness, nutrition, health, wellness, and family. The truth is, you're the chef of your life. And for every important pillar, there's a great recipe worth sharing. So every week, we'll explore them together. Think of it as food for thought that you can really sink your teeth into. So join me, and let's squeeze the joy out of this life, because you only get one. Can I get a fork, yeah? I think we can all agree life's way too short for boring food, right? It deserves to be filled with fresh, flavorful, mouth-watering dishes that you and your family are excited to share together. And guess what? Now it's so easy to broaden your cooking skills and try out fun recipes. And here's the best part. You don't need a bunch of fancy appliances to do it. With Panasonic's Home Chef 4-in-1 multi-oven, you can, get this, heat, fry, bake, and broil your way to foodie heaven. Yep, it's a microwave, broiler, air fryer, and convection oven all wrapped up into one appliance. So smart. So whether you're trying out a new food trend or your grandma's kind of complicated recipe, or maybe a fusion dish you've been dying to try, or maybe one of my dishes from my book, this multi-oven makes your cooking experience a really enjoyable one. So start thinking of all those recipes and dishes you've been dying to try out. Now's the time, because this multi-oven makes even the most complicated recipes super simple. I love super simple. It's the 4-in-1 that inspires your inner chef to try daring new dishes with confidence. So, to receive special offers, head over to PanasonicKitchen.com and become a Panasonic Kitchen Insider. Can't sleep? Feeling sad? Trouble with digestion? Seems to be a growing sign of the times. A lot of people are suffering from all kinds of symptoms like this. But the truth is, you may be missing out on some very valuable nutrients that are hindering your body's natural ability to heal itself. Today, in my discussion with Bernadette Judge, an RN with Nupeutics Health, we dive into some of the common symptoms that you might be experiencing when you're feeling out of whack, and how to simply remedy them with food, supplements, and hydration. You don't have to feel FOMO here, just the facts. Bernadette Judge is an RN and a whole body wellness health expert focusing on preventative medicine. After a long career in healthcare, serving as a medical researcher, lead nurse in both OBGYN and outpatient surgery, she decided to study integrative medicine. Because of her personal experience caring for both her father and her best friend during their battles with long-term illnesses, Bernadette is more passionate than ever about working to diagnose conditions as early as possible and finding holistic treatments that reduce the risk of side effects and complications. And she's known for her balanced approach using both Western and Eastern medicine. I was really excited and happy to speak to Bernadette. We see eye to eye on so many things, and she brought a lot of knowledge and insights into what we can do to manage our own health and diagnose what just might be missing in ourselves. Let's listen. Bernadette, it's great to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me, Maria.
Yeah, this subject has made me a little crazy, so I'm a bit passionate about it. So if I get really heated, don't worry. It's not about you. It's about the subject, because, what COVID's taught us is that we need to be more diligent about, how we wash our hands and contact surfaces and distance between people. And certainly if somebody's hacking and sneezing, we want to keep our distance. I mean, logical. And if you're one of those people, you should stay home. I had an experience once at a restaurant where this girl was literally hacking up a lung. I'm like, go home. Like, why are you here? But beyond that, I think there's a lot that we are not really discussing, and everybody is waiting for a vaccine, and that's fine. But in the meantime, there are certain things that we need to be honed in on. And I'm just, I'm curious from your perspective, what you have been hearing and what maybe you agree with or disagree with in terms of, advice that people are giving on what we should and shouldn't be doing.
It's very interesting, because I agree with you 100%. We do need to keep a little distance if we see someone hacking up a lung. If you are that sick, you should stay home. And it's not just with COVID, it's with the flu. Flu season's coming up. When we're sick, we subject everybody to that. So it should be a conscious thing we should be doing every day and every year, not just because of COVID. And one of the things that is great that's been brought up now that COVID and this pandemic has broke out is that we really need to start looking at our health more. And that we're noticing that the people that were affected the most with COVID, that got the sickest, their nutrients were depleted. They weren't the healthiest. They weren't getting enough sleep. They were overweight. So there are all these things that we could be doing ahead of time in case something like this happens again. And obviously to protect ourselves now, that are just really simple steps that would make us overall have better health and feel better every day.
I love that. And we're going to break those steps down. But, I want to touch on that because, and I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, but you know what? It could have been a hell of a lot worse. I mean, this outbreak could have been unbelievably devastating. And it's not the first, and it's certainly not the last. And so I think this is a gentle wake-up call, maybe a little bit more than gentle. It's a wake-up call for us to empower our own personal health. And that certainly is not going to come from a magic pill. It's going to come from a lifestyle shift, and it's going to come from us looking very closely at how we feed ourselves, how we manage stress. Like you said, sleep is so important. I was just talking to my daughter who, many of us are very sensitive to stress, and we're at the time of this recording literally waiting for the election results to happen. And it's almost as though the collective stress of the world around us is being felt by people, because she could not sleep all last night. She woke up just feeling so sick. So even if we're not conscientiously thinking about these things, it's a lot. I'm just curious, if from your perspective, if you've been hearing people talking about actually getting sick or actually feeling more of the mental aspects of what's going on these days.
100%. People are getting they're mentally challenged. People with addictions, it is so hard for them right now because of what is going on, especially what's going on with COVID. When we're kept inside our houses, teenagers, I know personally, my son at the beginning of COVID, he's 13. I mean, school wasn't in session. They completely, there was no such thing as online yet. And he was just getting so depressed. He was waking up, he'd have breakfast, and he'd go back and sleep until 1:00. And at first I thought, oh, maybe he's just going through a little growing spurt. Because, sometimes boys, they like to sleep. They like to sleep and eat. Like, he's 13.
13, yeah.
Yeah. But then I realized, no, it's mentally affecting him. And what really brought it to light is one night we decided to go walk down at the beach, and he went into the water, and it was the happiest I had seen him in probably about 3 weeks. And we realized it's what was going on. It was all the pressure of hearing everything, being on lockdown, this uncertainty that gets everyone so worked up and stressed, and then it just takes a hit to your mind. It takes a hit to your body. People will start stress eating, or they won't eat at all. And all of that affects your health.
Yeah, 100%. And my heart goes out to you. I know exactly what you mean. We have 3 teenagers in the house, all boys.
Oh.
And I see that in different strains, and then 2 others that are a little bit older, but still contending with so much shift and not understanding how to manage that shift. And so I think we can really look at ourselves and look inward at our own ability to take care of our mental well-being and our health. And the two are so intimately intertwined. When you think about building your own immunity, I see that as breaking down into literally, 4 parts. There's managing stress, there's managing sleep, there's managing your microbiome, which is the root of your immunity, and managing your actual nutrition. What's feeding your body to the core? What is feeding your cellular function? I just want to preface this by saying this is not the be all end all. It is not 100%, but it's going to make a big difference. When you can sleep at night, when you can manage your own stress and the inflammation that couples with the stress, you get your gut health in check and you actually fuel up, people are going to the grocery store and stocking up on junk food because they want to feel comforted. To me, that is like the worst thing that you could possibly do. What you're eating is becoming a part of you. So let's kind of break down this immunity ladder, if you will, and let's talk about stress since we're on that subject right now. From a supplement or nutrition standpoint, what do you think is maybe one of the most important things that people can take or do to manage stress?
One of my absolute favorite supplements is ashwagandha. It is an adaptogen that helps our body. It gives our body the ability to manage stress. It helps, for me at least, it helps so much when I take it every day. I can notice when I don't because I can feel a little bit on edge. I feel a little bit more relaxed. And not only with the stress, I feel it's just one of those overall, almost like a multivitamin supplement, but it's not, because it has so many powerful benefits. It affects everything. So it affects our stress. It affects our sleep. It gives us a little boost of energy. And all of that is tied in. Stress is tied in with sleep. Stress is tied in with our energy. Stress is tied into our microbiome. Mm-hmm. It's tied into our mental health. So supplements like ashwagandha are great. Just simple things that you can do. Exercise, yoga is great. You're getting your body moving. You're improving your overall health. You're stretching. You're feeling good. And when you're feeling good, your stress levels will go down. If you don't necessarily want to do yoga, meditation's another great one. It gives you time to sit there and kind of think about things, decompress, get back to yourself. It's almost like self-care.
Yeah.
To bring you, ground you, bring you back kind of to reality, take some of that stress down a notch.
Mm-hmm. I am a big fan of adaptogens. I actually covered the importance of adaptogens in my trend report last year. And, had I been able to predict what was going to happen this year, it would have been even much more spot on. But in addition to ashwagandha, people can take, the different mushrooms that help with adaptogen or have adaptogen qualities like reishi and lion's mane and all of these wonderful mushrooms. I don't know if you've ever tried the Four Sigmatic mushroom drink. It's like a mushroom coffee. It's fantastic. And it's a great way to be able to kind of sip that and get it into your everyday. And I also think that, one thing that I've been taking, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, is CBD. In fact, while we were talking, I just popped a couple of these aqueous wellness CBD